Welcome to the world's most fabulous people series. I am your host, Tonya Hofmann, and I bring you amazingly fabulous people on our series every time for you to learn something from, glean something, just take away and get connected to these incredible people. And today's fabulous guest star is the amazing Pat Duckworth, all the way from England. Hey, Pat.
Yay!
So Pat is one of those type of people that you just adore as soon as you get to know. And so Pat, tell me about, how does it feel to be that fabulous?
It feels fantastic. I love it. Whenever I stand up to introduce myself, I say I'm the hot woman with cool solutions. And it comes from my first book, Hot Women Cool Solutions, which was all about kind of really taking ownership of being at midlife, which was an award-winning book. And then I take that theme through to my international best-selling book, Hot Women Rock, How to Discover Your Midlife Entrepreneurial Mojo. So I'm all about that, living an inspirational life and helping other women to be inspirational and to find their best selves. Because at this stage of life, there's no time to waste. I'm not getting slower, I'm getting faster. I'm getting fabulous faster.
I love it. I love it. Fabulous and fast. So tell me, have you always been this fabulous?
No, if I'm honest, not always this fabulous. So I spent the first 30 years of my working life as a career civil servant in the public service. And I was doing pretty good. I was working my way up, gradually making my way up the grades. So I was pretty successful. But then you get to that stage where you think, this isn't really what I'm meant to be. There's something more than what I'm doing at the moment. And I had the boss from hell, and that was the point where I decided this is just not serving who I am now, that I really need to be doing something more than this. And I took my opportunity to jump ship and to retrain to become a therapist. And then from a therapist, that wasn't enough either. That wasn't fabulous enough. So, because, you know, when you realize you've just got a bigger message and you need to get it out there, and just working one-to-one with people, doing really good work, but it's still not enough. That's when I thought, no, well, now I'm going to write a book, because once I write my book, anybody in the world can buy it. So now I'm globally fabulous. And then, so you write the book, and then with the book, well, now I need to stand up in front of women and talk about it, and then becoming a public speaker so that I can get that message out there further. So the early part of my life I enjoyed, but it wasn't fabulous. But now I'm into that fabulous space.
Nice. That is incredible. So do you have a fabulous tip that you would like to give us, or some information that we can glean from you today?
So I really think this is an important thing about who you spend time with is who you become. And if you want to be fabulous, you've got to spend your time with fabulous people, people who inspire you and support you. And, you know, they're going to be the ones who are cheerleaders for you. They might sometimes say, hey, Pat, you know, or hey, Tonya, you might want to think about doing this. You know, they're going to give you other things to do as well. They're going to help you to keep transforming, not just to keep doing the same thing, but actually moving on and getting better at what you do. Now, you can find some of those people through your networking, but you've got to choose the right networks. You know, if you go to a networking meeting and there's all people moaning and groaning about their businesses and how they don't know where the next client's coming from, they're not going to be the ones that you need to be with. And most networking groups you can visit a couple of times before you have to join up or make a commitment. So find one that really suits you and that is going to keep stretching you. Have a mastermind group, you know, you could perhaps find an existing mastermind group, and that's people who are kind of your peers, doing a little bit better than you, who are going to keep pulling you upwards, people that you can discuss where you are and they can give you tips about how to get better. You know, find a mentor, find somebody who's really, you know, that you respect and trust and is really going to pull you upwards. And some of the people who are in your life at one stage aren't going to be the people who support you at the next stage. This isn't about saying goodbye to all your friends. This is about not exposing your time to people who are going to pull you downwards. There might be some family members and friends who love you as you are, and they don't particularly want you to be fabulous because they think it's a bit scary and they're frightened for you. So those people aren't going to be particularly encouraging for you. And you still want to stay friends with them and love them, but you're not going to talk about your business or your next fabulous thing with them. You're going to talk about that with people who are going to say, yeah, why don't you do this? How about trying that? They're going to be the ones who are there for you through the tough times, but also the ones who are going to celebrate with you when it's really good. So watch out who you're spending time with. Choose those people really well.
Love it. So, that's just like perfect. So I know that if you're like me, we've gone through some crazy things like embarrassing moments or just things that you're like, what? But we learn so much from. Have you had an experience like that?
Well, I'm a little bit embarrassed to admit this, but the very first training course that I ever ran was when I was in the civil service, and the course had the amazing title of the rating of sewage treatment works. I know, how amazing is that? And I had to put this course together. This became my job. I became the expert on sewage treatment works. And so I had to run a 3-day course that went into the whole way that sewage is processed and the machinery and the buildings and, carrying out inspections. I actually took a whole team of people on a coach trip to a couple of sewage treatment works so that they could get the full experience. So, yeah, but I learned a lot from that. What I learned from it was that regardless of the subject, I just loved standing up and talking about this stuff. I did a lot of preparation so that when I stood up, I knew I was giving good information. I just loved the energy of being there, sharing what I knew, and bringing humor to it because, people learn when they're laughing. So, and who's not going to laugh on a sewage works course?
Right? There's too many opportunities, right?
I could tell you some stories, Tonya. I really could. But, my top tip when you're walking around a sewage works, never lick your lips. We'll move on from that now. So,
wow.
Yeah, I know. Serious learning. But really, I learned about putting courses together. I learned how to bring the humor into it. I learned how to make people feel comfortable with it. And really, I learned how much I enjoyed doing that. So that then any opportunity that I had where I could bring my learning into a teaching situation, into presentations, into doing workshops, or just into giving talks. I gave a talk last night and I put so much humor into it because I know that people will learn when they're laughing at stuff. It's just one of those things. Once we relax and laugh, we go, oh, do you remember this? Do you remember that? So that's really what I learned. That's what I learned from sewage, Tonya.
I love it. I love it. I know. When you laugh, I think people I didn't realize that because always, sometime in your past, people have said something about, you're not that funny or something. And then I find out I really am. People laugh at me, and so it's all good. So do you have something fabulous you would like to give our incredibly fabulous listeners today?
Well, I offer anybody who wants to work with me a free half an hour where they can just explore where they are at the moment, perhaps in their entrepreneurial journey, and we can talk about it, and perhaps they want to know about mastermind groups or networking or how they can stand up and do their 1 minute at a networking group. Because a lot of people, they don't even go networking because they're frightened to do their minute. So I offer a free half an hour session, and any of your viewers are very welcome to take me up on that.
Awesome. How do they get in hold of you?
So they can contact me, pat@patduckworth.com. You can say it again in an American accent, Tonya.
Right. Pat@patduckworth.com.
Just think, What's a Duckworth?
I love it. I really am jealous of your last name.
I've thought of putting a little apostrophe in to make it a little bit more French, so we would be the Duckworths. How classy would that be?
Totally, obviously. Oh my goodness. Alrighty. So everyone jump on the opportunity to get to know Pat right now and email her at pat@patduckworth.com and get that strategy session, because this is a woman that you want to get to know, and her brilliance will come out on you and you'll feel so good after you do. So thank you, Pat, for being on today.
It's been such a pleasure. Thank you for having me on the show. I just always enjoy talking to you.
Awesome. All righty, everybody. So we're going to have another incredibly fabulous guest star shortly. So make sure you come back to the world's most fabulous people. Thanks, and have a fabulous day.
Thank you.